Hello Game of Thrones fans and welcome to another episode of my reviews for this season. Now it's been a little bit slower week this week for the episode I think, but we'll come on to all of the review stuff a bit later on. First of all we need to issue a spoiler alert. So here is your spoiler alert for the last episode. Guys, be warned that past this point you won't be able to unhear anything that you hear that you haven't seen, if that makes sense. So yeah, I will see you in a minute and I hope you enjoy this episode. Okay, so the title of Season 6, Episode 7 was The Broken Man. Now, this could either describe Sandrock again, who has been broken kind of in body and in mind as well, by his past life and his past experiences. However, it could also describe Theon Greyjoy, who was described by Yara this week as broken. It just depends on kind of who you're looking at. I think it's more to describe the Hound, but I would say Theon could be an option as well. So my 5 words or under this week, I've got 3 words, and that is trouble brewing everywhere. Because you will see throughout this review that there is lots of stuff going on that means that we could see a lot of trouble for Westeros and Essos in the next coming, in the couple of episodes that are coming up towards the end of the season. So as usual, we start down in King's Landing, where the High Sparrow told Marjorie Tyrell that she needs to provide Tommen with an heir. And obviously we had that horrible scene, or we had a really awkward kind of sex scene last year between Tommen and Marjorie, and we don't really want to see that again, so we're hoping that's going to be off screen this year. And that she must bring her grandmother to the faith. Now, that didn't go so well. So Marjorie told Lady Olenna that she should atone her sins, or she should come to the faith a bit more to kind of be forgiven for her sins. And she told Marjorie that she had to leave for Highgarden. However, Marjorie has said that she wants to stay and that her place is actually by the king's side. So that was a little bit of a defiance from Marjorie, which we haven't really... I mean, yes, we have seen it from more Marjorie actually, because she's very independent. She's very much like her grandmother. And Cersei confronted Lady Olenna to try and make her stay and fight. However, Lady Olenna believes that Cersei has lost the battle already, and also that she blames Cersei for the Sparrow's rise to power in the first place, which I think is true in a way, because she did kind of invite them into the city and she did meet with the High Sparrow back in season 5. So I guess that Lady Olenna has a point, you know, and I love seeing any scenes with Diana Rigg playing Lady Olenna, because she's just a fantastic actress. She's a funny actress and it makes me laugh. And then finally Cersei decided to stay and fight, despite, and this is probably the most important information of King's Landing this week, Lady Olenna pointed out that Cersei no longer has any allies, as Jaime is off fighting in the Riverlands, or Jaime's about to go and raid Riverrun in the Riverlands. The Tyrells, or Lady Olenna especially, wants to go home. The King's Guard is against her because Tommen's against her in a way, because Tommen has found the faith. The Sparrows are against her. The mob basically are against her because they believe her to be a sinner. Everything has kind of gone wrong for Cersei, and yet she still wants to stay and fight with literally the mountain to defend her, and that's it. So it feels a little bit like Cersei is biting off a bit more than she can chew. But we'll have to see in next week's episode what she does with that. We finally get teased, we got teased as well in the trailer for episode 8, the bit where she says to Lancel Lannister that she chooses violence, which is the kind of fabled line along with the Davos line. So we're quite happy to see that next week. Another old location returned this week, and that was Riverrun. Now, at Riverrun, Jaime and Bronn arrived at Riverrun to find Lothar Frey, or Lothar Frey, however you want to pronounce his name, and Walder Rivers threatening to kill Edmure if the Blackfish did not surrender, which I think was quite a good scene actually, and all the acting in it was pretty good. I like the fact that Blackfish Tully kind of called their bluff and said, you know, kill him, but you'll never take the castle, and I think that was quite funny. But in the same way, it was a little bit I don't know whether it was predictable or not. It didn't seem very predictable to me. It wasn't predictable certainly to me, but maybe some of you felt it was a bit predictable. I don't know. Please comment if you did feel it was a bit predictable. I think maybe if I'd have looked at the signs a bit more of Blackfish's return, that I don't think he was going to return with a weakness. He was not going to return and just completely surrender the castle to the Freys. And Jamie decided to take charge of the siege, and he did meet with Blackfish, which was quite a very good, in fact, well, it wasn't quite a good scene, it was a very good scene. I really enjoyed that scene between them two, because both actors, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, whatever, who plays Jamie, and Clive Russell, who plays Brendan Blackfish Tully, I think both of them are brilliant actors. And Blackfish basically told Jamie that he will, not sorry, the other way around. Jamie told Blackfish that they will show the Tullys no mercy, really. The Lannister soldiers are prepared to go with anything that Jamie tells them to. And it really made me realise that the Blackfish is not going to be intimidated easily, because he just kind of said, well, you have enough provisions to last for 2 years, take the castle almost, you know, try and take the castle, which I think was brilliant. Now, in the rest of the Riverlands, Sandor Clegane is back, and he's working in a small community, or he was working in a small community, sorry, to build, I don't know if it was a building, or whether it's some kind of tower. It looked a bit like a tower, but I don't really know. He seems to feel guilt for his past sins, and he said he's kind of never been punished for them when he expected to be. So I want to know, well, is Sandor Clegane, at the beginning of the episode certainly, I thought Sandor Clegane had completely changed and just was a really peaceful personality, which seemed a bit odd. And 3 men from the Brotherhood Without Banners turned up at a meeting and tried to take their possessions of the little small community, that is, and they left unsuccessful because basically Ray, who was played by Ian McShane, turned around and told them that they had no possessions that weren't being used, and that they only had enough food to feed the villagers or the community or whatever. And Sandor warned Ray that the Brotherhood would return, and they did return, but we'll talk about that at the end, because that's a very exciting ending. As we talk about in Game of Thrones, the ending at the end, we will talk about it then, so look forward to that. So in the north, Jon, Sansa and Davos have secured the allegiance of the Wildlings, and that was a very tense scene. Again, it reminded me actually a little bit of episode 8 of season 5, Hardhome, where Jon went to Hardhome to negotiate with the Wildlings coming south of the wall, and it was a reminder of that scene around the fire where they said, you know, will you fight with me then? And it was kind of a very reminiscent scene, and I really like that they're bringing back old scenes but making them a new twist. And it almost was a whole season ago that happened. It was season 5, episode 8, and this is season 6, episode 7, so I suppose it's been quite a while since that last happened, and it seems like ages ago, but it was only 9 episodes ago. And they also travelled to Bear Island and met Lady Lyanna Mormont. Now, she was incredible. I thought that she was one of the best characters we've been introduced to, a new character this season. She was fantastic. I love the actress. I can't remember the actress's name, but she was brilliant. I don't know, the character was just fantastic. It was very, very, very stubborn, but also very helpful at the same time, if that makes sense. And they managed to secure her alliance after Davos warned her of the White Walkers. And now they went to the Glovers as well. I can't remember where they went to, which castle they were at. But Robert Glover was unwilling to go into allegiance with them, as he believed that Robb didn't stop the Ironborn from taking his castle. So he doesn't want to help Robert's brothers, or brother and sister, take back their ancestral home of Winterfell, because he doesn't believe that they deserve it, basically. Now, Sansa wants to recruit more houses because she doesn't feel like they've done enough to actually win the Battle of the Bastards, which is what we're going to see. And actually, episode 9 was released. Episode 9's title was released today as the Battle of the Bastards, which means that we could be seeing the Jon Ramsay face-off in episode 9, which we've been teased for the whole season so far. And she wrote a letter to someone, which I assume is probably either Peter Baelish, that is, Lord Robin Arryn of the Vale, or Brienne of Tarth. Now, I doubt it's going to be Brienne, because she's off fighting, or she's off heading to Riverrun, so she's only on the road at the moment. Now, she could have sent it to Brendan Blackfish Tully. I mean, I suppose that's another option, but I assume she's talking to Peter, who promised and told her that he was going to help her, and that Robin Arryn had knights if she needed them. So I assume she sent them to Peter Baelish to ask for his help finally. So across the narrow sea in Volantis then, we saw Fionn and Yara, who have sailed there to escape from their uncle Euron, and Yara tried to encourage Fionn to regain his identity, as she wants him to help. His help to retake the Iron Islands from their uncle Euron. Now, that's quite an interesting development that they've actually gone across the narrow sea to Essos, which is the second continent, which is the other continent which we look at in this whole series. So we've got Westeros on the left and the side of the map, and Essos is on the right. So it does seem to me that there was a plan that Yara had, because she took them there, and I was right. Yara plans to sail to Marine and forge an alliance with Daenerys before Euron gets to Daenerys first. And I think that would be a very powerful alliance between the two Greyjoy siblings and Daenerys. And if Daenerys accepts them, then we could see actually Fionn and Yara possibly ride on the back of the other two dragons as they retake Westeros. I mean, we don't know. But I think they really just want her help getting the Iron Islands back, which means that, you know, she just helps them get that back. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens if they get there next week, or if not, it'll probably be in the season finale that they arrive, because I reckon that episode 9, will be very much centred around the battle and nothing else. So we'll have to see when that arrives. So before we take a look at the ending, let's take a look at what's happening in Braavos. Now, Arya secured passage to Westeros for Westeros sailor, which I thought was really quite good, but I had called that last week that I reckoned she was going home. Now, she was stood on a bridge looking towards the Titan, which is the massive kind of stone statue that marks the entrance to Braavos, and an old woman approached her. Now, we actually have seen the face before in the Hall of Faces, so we kind of knew that it was going to be, it was quite obvious and quite, I don't know, I think she planned it a bit. So Arya got stabbed by the old woman, and that turned out to be the waif. Now, Arya escaped over the side of the bridge that she was on, and she swam away, which I thought was really quite clever of Arya to do that, because I thought that we'd seen the end of Arya. I thought that was it. I thought Arya was dead. I thought she was going to just lie on the bridge dying. But she emerged later, and she was walking through the streets bleeding almost to death, I think. But she didn't seem to be in as much pain as I thought she would be, considering she'd been slashed in the stomach and then stabbed twice. I think maybe she's not completely stupid. I think she knew she was going to get stabbed, so I reckon she actually stuffed her clothes with pigs' bladders or something like that, or something to do with like pigs or whatever, or an animal which would bleed like a human would, so that she convinces the waif and Jaqen that she is dead. So the ending then, we heard an off-screen slaughtering of the community that the Hound was in, which was a bit upsetting, to be honest, because it's a bit annoying really rather than upsetting, because I want to see some actual action. There was really no killing other than what we saw off-screen this week. There was no on-screen, I mean there was a bit of violence obviously with Arya, but other than that wasn't really much. There wasn't anything else. And we saw Sandor again kind of walk to them and see them all, and Ray was hung from the tower, and I think he got really annoyed, and he picked up an axe and marched off before the screen went black, obviously for the credits. Now, that was a really interesting ending to leave it there, because we kind of don't know whether what the Hound's going to do. And we've seen a few bits of him in the trailer. So the Hound has been, we saw him swinging an axe at somebody's head, so we assume he's going to get all violent and kill people next week. And also we saw him just kind of, I don't remember, there was another image of him as well, I think, but I'm not entirely sure what it was. So yeah, that was the ending. So my conclusion for the week then, it was a good episode, but I don't think it was as good as the previous episodes have been. As I said, Arya's fate was a little bit obvious based on the fact that she made loads of mistakes and kind of didn't listen to Jaqen and the waif. And also, I think that the Hound's return was brilliant. That was probably my favourite. That was probably my highlight from this episode, has been the Hound's return, which brings my overall rating down from an usual 9 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10, which I think might have been what the first episode was of the season. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it might have been. But every episode has been 9 out of 10, so I'm hoping to give it a 10 out of 10 at some point, which I think might be episode 9 for the Battle of the Bastards, but I'm not entirely sure. Usually episode 9 are my top favourite episodes of the season. But we'll have to see whether this season remains true to that form. So yeah, that's it for my Game of Thrones review this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos like this. You can go and check out my Gotham reviews, which are always up online. We've got 21 of them up now, or 22 videos, but 21 reviews, and the 22nd one is the Season 2A review. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you very soon. Bye!